Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I'd like to start by asking the audience a few very interesting questions. So how many of us travel on a regular basis? Show of hands, please. Okay, great. How many of us have ever been there in that middle seat of the airplane, stuck without food or water? Show of hands. Great. How many of us have had lost luggage issues? So today I'm going to talk to you about a few very smart travel tips which I learned as a frequent flyer when I was flying all over the world. I don't often like to say this, but I am what they call a mileage runner. Now, a mileage runner is a guy or a lady who decides that he or she must hit the top of the rung in frequent flying so that the next time we go to catch a flight, we get the free luggage, we get the lovely lounge, we get the Air Canada assistant coming up to us and saying, "Mr. Gupta, how can I help you? Can I get you a glass of water? Can I make sure that your flight is on time?" We dream of those things. Some of us actually aspire and work towards getting there. Now, in order to do that, we have to be really smart travelers. And really smart travelers begins with the first fundamental thing is to pack smartly. A lot of us dread that situation where we check in a bag and when we reach the end of our destination, the bag's missing and we are completely stranded without clothes, etc. So I've learned to pack light and to pack right. One of the ways you could pack an entire week's clothing into a carry-on bag is to roll your clothes. And to give you an example, this is how you roll a shirt. Now, there are two advantages to rolling your clothes. Believe it or not, you can actually pack an entire week's clothing in a carry-on. And second, the advantage of rolling your clothes is that you don't need to iron them. This has been rolled for about 4 days. So that's one big advantage of rolling your clothes. The second tip I have for you, and I've seen this too often, that we have to go through security and the gods to be don't allow us to carry our own water or drink. And so after we pass security, we are stranded without something to drink. And we have to grudgingly go and buy that $4 small bottle of water. Now, the things we miss is the fact that water is still one of those freebies that we get on an aircraft. And so what I do is I carry an empty water bottle. Because as soon as I board the flight, I can go up to the flight attendant and ask her to fill this bottle for me, which they gladly do. It helps with two things. One is it makes sure that I saved $4, which I'm sure I have better uses for. And second is that it's really, really important to make this your only drink when you're up in the air at 35,000 feet. If you like your alcohol, please have it on the ground. Alcohol has a terrible effect at 35,000 feet. It dehydrates us at 10 times the rate that it could dehydrate us on the ground. The same thing goes with soda pop or any sugary drink. It actually dehydrates us, believe it or not. And so water is really your best companion. Sometimes you may notice that at the end of a long flight, there are some passengers which get up and they behave like, they just got up after an 8-hour dream sleep and they look all fresh. This is the secret. They're drinking lots and lots of water throughout the flight. Not only does this hydrate you, but it keeps you alert and keeps you fresh when you finish that flight in the end. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is carry a snack. We all know the cost of buying one of these in an aircraft. It's about $4. And it costs 75 cents if you buy a pack of 20 at Costco. This also helps you to make sure that you never stay hungry in that long flight. Another small tip I have for you is, some of us like our own beverages. Carry your tea or your coffee. You don't have to have the terrible tea or coffee that they serve you, and they will always give you hot water on the flight. So you can have your choice of tea or coffee. Another important tip I have for you is seat selection. 2 tips. 1, always go onto this website called seatguru.com. It has information on every seat, every airline, every flight, anywhere in the world. Before you pick that seat, it can tell you whether you're picking a good seat or not. Also, most airlines allow you to actually choose your seat when you book your flight. And if you are not able to get the seat of your choice at that time, you do have the option of doing it right at the 24-hour check-in marker. You'd be surprised to know that a lot of seats that were not available earlier become available at that 24-hour mark, and you can still get your window or aisle seat of choice. And finally, here's another thing I've learned when I was stuck with a passenger who had a really bad cold. Carry these with you. They're free and they're available everywhere. So, to conclude my repertoire, I would like to suggest that make your next flying experience a wonderful one by following these few suggestions. And you might be like me, sometimes even sharing this with the other passenger that's stuck. Over to you, Toastmaster.